If you ever spent hours trying to find local brick and mortar businesses using Google Maps and then have to manually go on each website and try and find the name and the email of the contacts working at those local businesses, then I'm sure you can understand how manual lead generation for local businesses is. So it's time to change that. And in this video, I'll walk you through how you can use this platform called OpenMart, which just announced their partnership with Clay, meaning that you're now able to not only find local businesses, but also to be able to filter for the type of local businesses that you're after based on geography and based on a bunch of other cool filters like the owner's contact information that we have in this database, whether the local business has a website, whether the local business has Google reviews, and everything of that sort. And that can be done seamlessly within Clay. So if you're new to Clay, I'll just show you how to get going about this. All you'll need to do is click on New Workbook, and as soon as you're inside of a workbook, you can click on Blank Table. As soon as you have a Clay table, if you click on Actions and Import, you can type in OpenMart with an option to find local businesses using OpenMart. Now, as I'm sure you've seen before in some other videos, and I'll link one video above right now, which shows you how you could scrape Google Maps using a tool like Outscraper, that's still quite manual. Of course, we can just scrape Google Maps, but then the next challenge is how do you find the contact details of the people that work at these companies? So in this case, we might as well just use OpenMart because not only does it help us find the companies and the local businesses, it also then helps us find the contact details of the owners and so on. So for this, let's click on Continue. And here we can type in our search terms. So I'm just going to type in Italian restaurant and the location. For the time being, I think they only support the US market and some of the markets over here, Puerto Rico, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. So let's type in over here, New York, for instance, limit it to 20 restaurants. Another cool filter over here that you can see is the minimum and maximum number of parent company locations. So in this case, it really helps us to segment and make sure that we're not going after like big chains if we don't want to go after big chains. So in this case, I guess like if we want to go for like Cheesecake Factory, we can just input, a minimum number of locations to be over like 20 or something of that sort. So in this case, I'm just going to leave these two blank. Has a website is another cool filter because as you know, a lot of time brick and mortar businesses don't have websites. So we'll filter for the ones that do have a website. And then more than that, it has a website that loads successfully, which a lot of the time will screen out a lot of the websites and local businesses that are perhaps not, the perfect profile for you. You can also filter based on Google ratings. So I'm just going to put anywhere from 4 stars up to 5 stars. No, let's say 4.6 stars up to 5 stars, because I don't want to get food poisoning. And then apart from that, we also can select over here to make sure that OpenMart has at least one decision maker's name at these companies, and this basically means that we can then get OpenMart to find the details of the people working at the company as well. We can also include specific business names if we're after specific business names. We can prioritize certain businesses based on keywords. So for example, I'm going to prioritize them based on them having pizza, pasta, or risotto. Hopefully that's the way you spell risotto. And then you can exclude matches like vegan and vegetarian because I want to, have some meat in the food as well. And then over here, you can exclude specific root domains. So for example, like let's say I want to exclude, I don't know, like I'll just leave that blank for now. And then after that, let's click on submit. And straight away, within a couple of seconds, you should be able to see that this basically triggers OpenMart to go and scrape all of these businesses from Google Maps based on the filters that you provided. So if we click on the business that's found, we can see the address over here. We can see like their Yelp reviews over here, for instance. We can see their Google Maps locations, we can see the company name, we can see the business information, so all the keywords, all the features, all the different tags as well. And then we can even see for payments that they accept credit cards, debit cards, NFC, mobile payments, credit cards, and so on. Popular for lunch, dinner, solo dining. I mean, like nothing too special here. You also have their description over here just in case. You have their pricing information in some cases, and you can see it's quite an extensive list of things. And even at the bottom here, it says business contact information. It doesn't have an email, but it has a phone number. And then, it's got phone numbers and that kind of thing. And then it's got company decision makers, 3 brothers, owners. Okay, that's pretty cool. So what I'm trying to get at here is this is just the start. We basically just filtered the OpenMart database to find local businesses based on their location, based on them having valid details of their decision makers working for them, based on Google reviews and all that fun stuff. So next up, let's tick this off. And by the way, you can get this checklist down below in the description. And then next up, we can search the parameters and we can now enrich this with contact information. So the way that we will enrich all of these businesses to find the decision makers is we'll click on Add Enrichment. and we'll type in OpenMart, we should be able to see right here that it comes up with find people at company. And over here, we can just input the website, the company name, the location, and the job title. The job title is optional, so I'm just going to leave it blank here for the time being. And I'm going to include the email addresses because I want to see the email address of those people. And then the max number of people is just one person. I don't want to go broke showing you this demo of Clay. So in this case, let's just quickly run this, and we should be able to pull the people that work at these companies. So I'm just going to rename this and say step 1, find people working at restaurant. Right. Worth noting here, you could have filtered for the specific job title. So you could filter for owner or something of that sort. Give it a couple of seconds. This is when I got quite impressed. So over here, you can see it just says one decision maker found because we limited it to one decision maker per company. If we click on people and we click on this 0, we can then add as a column the job title, the full name, and obviously the first name, the last name, and the LinkedIn profile. And more than that, we also have the email address here. So literally, OpenMart does all of this for us. And once again, just for context, it's not a sponsored video. It's just a matter of me looking at what new integrations there are inside of Clay and trying to figure out which ones we can actually use inside of our agency. And I thought this one is really cool. And for context, it found I think it's 4 email addresses out of the first 10 companies, which is very, very decent. And more than that, now that we have the actual full name of the owner and we have the websites of all of these companies, we can now put it through our own waterfall. So we can type in work email, and then we can put the work email, and we can feed the full name and the website and the company name and the LinkedIn profile. And then at the bottom over here, if we say use AI, only run if, and then email is empty, we can now find the remaining emails that we still haven't found for the first 10 people. So let's give it a shot. Let's see how successful we are with this. And let's give it a couple of seconds to load. So you can see all of this is running in a waterfall. If you're not familiar with what a Clay waterfall is, then basically it's just you relying on a bunch of different providers. If provider number 1 doesn't find the email, you go to provider 2, then provider 3, then provider 4. And it's all really simple. So I'm just going to put step 2, find email waterfall. And you can see it's only running if this email previously here was not found just yet. A couple of seconds and see how many emails we end up with. Right, I'm not going to lie here. It's a bit depressing because this waterfall did not find a single email address which was not found by OpenMart in the first place. Let's just look past that and hope this was useful up to this point. Worth noting as well, if we click on enrichments and type in OpenMart again, there are also some other enrichments that they provide. They also enable you to find the tech stack used by a small business or a medium business. They also help you enrich and verify a phone number and enrich and verify email addresses for small and medium businesses, and obviously finding the people at company for small and medium businesses. For the purpose of this one, because I know not everyone can afford 6 credits per row, I'm just going to test out the tech stack, and I'm going to click on tech stack here. And then at the bottom, of course, I'm going to use AI to say only run if, and then basically just only run if the email is not empty, because we don't want to be spending credits finding the tech stack of companies where, they don't even have, they don't even have their email for those companies. So let's continue to add fields, save and don't run. I just want to selectively pick a couple. So maybe we pick these 2 because I just want to see what kind of technologies it actually identifies compared to, and in the meantime, I'm just going to say step 3, find right. Let's give it a shot. Let's give it a couple of seconds to load. So here we are. Let's click on the technologies found, tech stack, CMS, website build, Word. So yeah, it basically comes up with the website builder, in which case this is WordPress here. And then that's the only technologies that it identified for one of the companies. And then for the other one, it also identified just that it's hosted on Squarespace. Now, I'm not sure if that's because I filtered for something wrong over here. I think it's because I just because I didn't put any specific technologies. And in this case, I should provide it with a specific list of technologies. Otherwise, it wouldn't identify it. So I'm not too happy with this technologies filtering capability, but overall, I think it's really cool how it can help you find local businesses, and it can then find you people and find the email addresses and phone numbers all in one place, which is pretty cool. I also checked out the actual platform over here. So their company finder is basically the same, but you can just use it inside of their database. If you just want to find companies fast, you can just click on the company name, company website, or whatever over here. And if you click on advanced search, it just basically looks like Apollo or like any other database. So I think that's pretty useful. And yeah, I think the pricing, I know they changed the pricing based on their website. So yeah, check it out for yourself. I think they're updating that. And the contact finder is pretty good inside of Clay. I don't think it's as good here because for here you'll have to upload it manually. That's why I prefer the Clay integration. But overall, pretty solid tool. I mean, if you want to test it out, just go grab this guide, which is linked underneath the video. And if you DM me on LinkedIn, I'll just DM me your email address if you sign up for an OpenMart account, and then I can literally actually probably get you a couple of free credits because I'm in touch with the founders of OpenMart. So yeah, in case, just let me know. I literally took out the trial with OpenMart just to see what it's all about, since they just integrated the Clay. I think it's really solid. So if you do check it out, let me know how you get on. Make sure to DM me on LinkedIn if you do get the chance to take it out on a test drive. I'll try and top your account up with a couple of credits, which will ask their founders to give to you. But in the meantime, if you watch this far, there are two things I have to tell you. The first thing is, go check out the other method of finding local business leads using Serpent Dev, which I think that's probably a cheaper way to do that than OpenMart if you find that OpenMart is a bit too expensive. So I'll make sure to link it right here now. And secondly, aside from that, if you want to understand how to learn Clay, and if you feel like you're just scratching the surface of what's possible with Clay, go check out Unlock Clay. It's the best course out there on how to learn Clay in just 5 hours. So take me up on it. Go check out unlockclay.com, which will be linked down below as well. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Do comment, do like the video, and if you watch this far, just let me know so I'll continue making some of these videos about Clay and all of these other funky tools surrounding the Clay ecosystem. Last video, cheers.